Hey, hey guys, welcome. Welcome to the replay analysis section of the StarCraft streams, featuring me, Mr. ViBE, and our boy today, Serdokin, the Master Zerg player who's playing a ZvT. We're going to help him figure out how to not be bullied by Terran, how to make the most of every ZvT that is possible, and, you know, how to win games, essentially. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's get it going. Damn, dude, Milty. Nice announcer. I actually have not heard anyone use this announcer yet. Okay. So far, your build's fine. I mean, this game just started. I want you to stack those close patches, but you're masters. I feel like at this point, you know this. You can do it if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But you're masters, so I feel like you understand that concept. I've talked about it 5,000 times. You are scouting for proxy Raxes. Okay, so you are stylistic, right? You can do this if you want to. Okay, this is definitely tournament play style shit. I don't think this is good ladder play, personally. And the reason why is because ladder is way too random. People who do this shit in tournaments usually do this because they highly expect their opponents to do this kind of shit. But if you just scout with an overlord here, your second overlord there, you'll always see the bunker go down anyways before your pool's done. So you'll always be able to make lings as a reaction regardless. And seeing if your opponent expands with a natural is a big deal. I think it's a big deal because now you're playing kind of blind because you're scouting so heavily for proxy. So, simply put, I hope you don't make too many lings being when you're blind. Like, here's an example, okay? Here's an example. If your opponent skips the Reaper and makes a straight up Marine, and you still make the Zerglings and you sit here defensively, that sucks. Because it's just, that's going to put you 2 larvae behind where you want to be then. Like, if your opponent made a Marine first and you wanted to make drones, you could get away with it. Whereas if your opponent made a Marine first and you did make lings, you could easily run across the map and punish him for that. And be like, hey, motherfucker, you going to make a Marine and then go right into a reactor? Maybe I'll kill your Marine and just, like, make this annoying as shit for you. You have to repair your wall. Or, like, maybe you kill one SCV at the natural or something. Or better yet, kill, like, a mule. That'd be great. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just am not the biggest fan of this. But anyways, it's what you do. So I know you're scouting for proxies. It's a thing. It's not like it's not a thing. So we'll just leave it at that. So your build, again, is fine so far. Gas before a pool. It's totally fine. I do the same thing. Nowadays against Terran. Okay, you got a 20th drone. I like it. Okay, the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is your drone is kind of chilling for a long time. Also, you're still staying with your own gas. We'll talk about that in a second. But your drone is chilling for a long time in front of your natural, which means you're going to have a super late third. Your build already is putting yourself in a position. This is what I'm seeing from your build already. If you don't change it right now, you're getting yourself into a position where you need to do damage, otherwise you're behind. It doesn't mean you have to make roaches or it doesn't mean you have to make banes, but you're putting yourself in a position where you're either going to have 2 base layer or you're going to have super delayed 3rd base if you keep this up. So we'll talk about it in a second and we'll explain it, but I'm already not becoming a fan of your opener. We'll see how you play it out though. I got to see what you actually do. Oh man. Now you're going 4 queen double inject. Okay. And you're still mining gas. Holy shit, dude. And you're going for a 3rd. Look at all that larva. Look at all those larvae boys. I'm gonna speed it up. I want to see. I have no idea what your plan is. I don't like your build at all, though. I really don't like your build. We'll talk about it in a second. I just want to see what your plan is. Like, are you going for really fast Bane speed? Are you going for really fast mutas? You're going really fast mutas. Okay. So, now I know what your build is. Your build's fine, except for one thing. Your third base fucked up your larva. Your third base fucked up your... Like, if you're going to 2-base layer this shit, and you're never going to take off gas, I don't mind, if that's your plan. You also did not get Overlord speed. You went straight layer after speed. That's fine for the layer, for the Spire itself. It's okay. However, if you're going to fucking double inject, which you should do if you're going to stay 2-base for longer in tech, your third should not go down as fast as it did. You should not take your third as fast as you did. Because when you did that, you had a bunch of larvae sitting there that you could not actually afford to spend. If your third base went down right after you spit your larva, after your inject, that third base would have been totally fine. It would have been totally fine. But you fucked your larva up super bad by doing that, so now you're actually behind. Your 2-base Spire is already putting you in a position where you need to do damage. You need to do damage with it, otherwise you're behind. And because you took a third base and did not prioritize your larva, you're already behind where it should be. Like your build, like for instance, let's just say hypothetically, okay? Let's say hypothetically, your 2-base Spire hits with like 6 meters in production at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, okay? Let's just say that's the case. We're making a hypothetical here. If you fucking take a third like you did and you delay your larva like you did, if you're supposed to hit 6 meters at 540, now you're hitting 6 meters at 549. 548. Like, you've just delayed your build a little bit from what it should be. And doing this kind of shit fucks you over hard because every second matters a lot when you're already starting off from a negative position as it is in terms of economy, because you're investing so heavily into Aspire. And there's all these possibilities of things Terran could do to kill you early, like a 2-1-1, like Hellion pressure, like Hellbat pressure, like Battlecruiser pressure. Like, if your mutas are delayed by any means at all, it's going to make your muta build just weaker and weaker and weaker substantially. And there you go. There's the Hellion opener. So, and I would say, too, you're playing super risky. You're playing so fucking risky. You can saturate 2 bases, and you could do something like put an Evo Chamber and a Bane Nest in front of your base or something like that.
Thank you for the late night stream.
Yo, thank you very much, Dr. Rabid. Much love, dude, for the support of the 7 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Melty, you can put down like an Evo Chamber and a Baneling Nest in front of your natural or something like that. That's totally fine. And if you want to do that, you can totally saturate your main and natural fully off of just like 4 Zerglings for the anti-Reaper Zerglings. And then you could go into making Lings after to up to a point where you have like 20 Zerglings. That'd be fine. But you're not respecting the Terran at all by just making nothing but Lings the entire time and just leaving your base open. Because what did he just do? He just drove into your base and he just roasted 13 fucking drones. And he also killed a few drones in your main base with the Liberator, which is right there. So you're not respecting the Terran at all, essentially. Like, not one bit. And you have 2 options. This is why your third being so fast makes no sense, because how do you expect to defend your drones? Like, you've already lost way more drones than what's worthwhile. You have 2 ways to deal with this. Number 1 is you can take your third base. Like, look how long ago your speed finishes. The first way you can deal with this is you can take your third base and you can make Lings so that you don't, like, you get the extra larva from your third, which is what you're taking right now. You make Lings to cover your ass so you don't die. But this makes more sense with a build that is not totally mining gas the entire time, not a 2-base layer build. But for a 2-base layer build, when you're trying to maximize your larva, which is what you should be doing right now, you have 5 larvae sitting at this hatchery right now. That's not maximizing your larva at all. if you're going to maximize your larva in a 2-base layer build, your third base could go down a lot later than it is because you can't even guard it anyways properly. And you could maximize, like, put an Evo chamber in a baling nest, and you could wall your base off essentially with a queen standing in the doorway so that you could actually saturate your bases properly to not only give you the right mineral count you need, but the right gas count you need. Because you can't even, if you can't even defend your third, there's zero reason to take it, and every drone that gets made from there is probably dead. All your larva is like it's just foregone there. Like the only thing you could realistically make out of your third that won't repeatedly die is overlords. Because if you make drones or zerglings, they will all die to Hellions. If his Hellions just camp this area. Like, how can you stop that? You can't. Because if you try to stop that and he just drives past your queens and goes to your natural, now you're really fucked. Like you just got fucked a second ago in the game where we were just watching. So if you're going to go 2-base layer, it's with the Spire. Make that your priority. Don't do a hybrid build of like a 3-base speedling expand with a 2-base Spire. It doesn't make any sense because then all that means is your build is super risky and it has holes all over it. And you just lost 13 drones, which is how the Terran's going to abuse that. Like you have no realistic defense on your drones. So you can skip lings if you wall your base off until you're fully saturated on 2 bases, and then you make lings because there could be the chance of a Hellion drop, and that also allows you to take your third successfully. And now you are super far behind now. So now all this is going to do is it's going to delay your attack even further. And what's happening now is your mutas are getting put into this like severe position where they have to get ridiculous damage done. Even if you didn't even lose your drones, you already had to get damage done to a good degree. Like you don't just make them and just like, that's it. Like you have to do damage versus good Terrans. If you don't do damage and you go 2-base muta versus a Terran who opens up 3 command center Marines with 1 factory tank, it's not good if you don't do damage for Zerg. So you already had to do damage by default, and now, like I said before, you have to do some serious damage. Like we're talking, you have to kill probably like 10 SCVs. Keep resetting the Marine count if you can off of kill maybe a couple reactors. Do something severe, because if you do nothing, which will probably happen, you're fucked. And the reason why it's probably going to happen is because this attack he did to you delayed everything for you, and it makes your follow-up after mutas really weak, because look what you're doing right now. You are making mutas, but you can't even spend all of your larva properly, because if you make all your mutas, you only have 10 drones mining minerals, 8 drones mining minerals, and 5 drones mining minerals. So you have 23 drones mining minerals at 6 minutes. That is fucking garbage economy right there. And now you're flying right to his base, and he runs right by you. You actually kill all of his Hellions with your lings and queens. That was nice. But now, what are you like? So you got rid of the Hellions without having to make your mutas waste time, which I agree. That's what you should have done, because you had lings and like the only thing I would have said differently there would have been you flew directly over his Hellions. Maybe like move them once and keep flying. So you just pepper on like an extra like 40 damage on top, or like 50 damage on those Hellions off of like your 4 mutas throwing glaives out there. Excuse me. Sorry. Because you literally flew right over them, so if you just moved and move command, like he's gonna see them realistically, and you could have just added on damage to make your lings more likely kill the Hellions. That's the only thing I would have said do differently in that particular spot. Otherwise, I agree that you move across the map right away. And now I don't think you should be hitting his third base. The fact that you go to the third and you see the third just landed, that's fine. You should definitely not waste time hitting it. You need to kill SCVs right now. SCVs are priority number 1. Isolated Marines are priority number 2, and crucial weak buildings are priority number 3. So reactors, depots, especially if they have drop supply on them, or things like that, or a tech lab that's upgrading, that'd be fucking huge. If you kill this command, or if you keep hitting this command center, it will never die, and he will push you away with Marines. Okay, good. You go right past it. You go for SCVs. You got to be super careful. about shit like this too. Whenever you get in a situation like this, check this out. Whenever you're muta harassing someone and your mutas are currently flying in fucking lines like this, what you should do is you should go to the outside of his base that you know is safe, which could be his third base, and you go like this. Move command, with all of your mutas selected, and then you just green box the ones you're currently looking at and microing. I know you're looking at these mutas right here. I know you're looking at these mutas. You're microing these mutas specifically, and you're going to his main now. And you green box these only and micro them only until you see on the minimap all of your mutas have crossed into a safe location, and you add them in and you recontrol them. Because if you don't do that, and you just say, hey mutas, control group 2, number 9 mutas, and you go, hey, let's go here now. These mutas will do it safely because they're going around, right? But all your rallies will be like, fly through the fucking bio. And you just lost 2 mutas because of a bad rally. And that kind of shit is unacceptable if you're doing a build that needs to get damage done. Otherwise you're behind because you're going for 2 base mutas versus 3 command center opener Terran. Like, you can't make mistakes like that, otherwise you're fucked. And you can't do this either. Your mutas are way too idle for what they're doing. Like, you went for a 2 base muta and your mutas are just fucking sitting there. I'll say this right now. This is dead serious, dude. You're going to run into this kind of shit. Because I know that if I played against a Terran on ladder who is like, let's say like 5.5 or like 5.7. If I played like this, I would have a 0% chance to win. The only reason why you will ever beat a Terran player going for a low eco Zerg fast muta style, if you play the muta style like this where you just kind of sit around with them, is because you make them overreact and they play like shit. Like they play sloppy because they're paranoid. That stops happening when you play Terrans that are really good. So you will never really progress past a certain point if you don't really maximize your mutas. Your mutas need to literally never leave his base. Like, they need to honestly never ever leave his base. Like, for instance, force more stimpaks out of him. Make his medevacs have no energy. Bounce muta shots into buildings and kill Marines while they stimpak around his base. Because if you drain his medevacs out of energy when he has none of them, or like only 1 or 2 of them, and then he's stimpacking, trying to get you out of his base, because if he doesn't stimpak, you'll kill reactors and shit. You force reactions. You suddenly, his Marines are coming right here with stimpak on. Your mutas are right here. You throw 1 more glaive into the fucking reactor. It does an extra like 80 damage to it. And then all the glaives bounce into a yellow Marine and the Marine just dies. And you picked off 1 Marine. You drag him down to the barracks. Your mutas are now down here. Maybe 2 Marines spawn out of this reactor as you get here, and you just pick off 2 Marines. Because they just spawned into the mutas. And you fly over the command center, the natural. Maybe you pick off a tank. You pepper damage into a depot. You fly back around, pepper damage back into the reactor. So you don't always have to kill every building as you hit it once. You pepper damage, rotate, pepper damage, rotate, pepper damage, rotate, and you start eventually killing shit. You have to keep him busy, though. And the whole time while you keep him busy, ideally you slow him down while you fucking macro and creep spread. So every time you take a rotation, creep spread, inject. Take a rotation, creep spread, inject. Whole time in the process of attacking him, while you're looking at mutas, make drones, make drones, make drones, make drones, make drones, make drones. You have to be way more fucking active than this. This is you just all you've done. In my opinion, this is all you've done. Game starts. Terran has 12 SCVs. Zerg has 9 drones. Or 10 drones. That's literally all that's happened. You have, like, everything you've done so far, you've put yourself into a negative position for no reason. You've done, honestly, nothing to his base. So you're just behind for nothing. I mean, I guess you could say you made the Terran feel a little bit unsafe or a little paranoid because mutas exist fast. But good Terrans are not going to give a fuck. They will not care at all. They'll be like, hey, nice low economy mutas. I don't give one shit. Like, see that shit right there? You poke his base. You get shot by 2 Marines or 3 Marines, whatever it was. It was just a couple Marines. And you immediately leave. Like, you cannot do that if you're going to go mutas like this. I would just say I recommend not doing this build for you if this is how your general muta game goes. I would highly recommend not playing muta styles like this fast. Like, you can go mutas later on when you have a better economy. Because this is definitely not you're just hurting yourself more than you're hurting him. Look at your like, do you see how your supply is down by 27 supply? It's because your build is inefficient. And it's because these mutas are not paying for themselves. You've over-invested into them. Like, basically, so it'd be like this. Let's say hypothetically, you're buying mutas. Okay, you're like, treat these mutas like cryptocurrency. Okay, this will make a lot of sense. Let's say everyone who bought Bitcoin. These numbers are not exact. Okay, some people who are actually crypto fanatics are going to be like, no, ViBE, that's not right. But I'm going to make an example and just try to stick with me. You'll understand in a second. Don't be too much of a stickler about the numbers I'm going to say. Let's say people who bought cryptocurrency at a good time to buy was $10,000 per Bitcoin. Let's say hypothetically that's a good number. You basically bought at like 16,000. You bought at 16,000. You over purchased it. Like, you bought it when it was high and it drops again. Like, the value of it's going down. And now suddenly it's only worth like 8K. It's like worse. It's like less value than its original value. That's what your mutas are like. You over-invested into them early. You bought early when they weren't worth shit, or they were worth like way too much rather. You over-purchased it, and now they're not really worth shit anymore because you've missed your window for them to be effective. Like, these mutas at this point they're still good. They're always good all game, but the emphasis of your gameplay is 100% reliant on your mutas to carry, and you have no backbone to your base. That's your fucking backbone. 9 banelings. You have 9 fucking banes. That's your entire army aside from mutas. You have no army. So you are fucked if these mutas don't do damage, and they have not done anything all game. So all you're doing is you're putting yourself in an overly invested muta situation that is not paying for itself, and you're falling massively behind because of it. And when this guy counter pushes you, it's probably going to kill base after base after base after base. Like, it's going to feel bad. So I'm glad you didn't at least lose any mutas there. He actually let the starport and the reactor burn down. That just is honestly bad play by the Terran. I'm not going to lie. That did not need to happen. And now he's also overreacting. He's freaking out by making fuckloads of turrets. See, like, this is that moment where you probably play this style a lot, and you probably win a lot with it. You're probably like, I feel like I can make this better, but I still win a pretty decent amount of my games when I do this to Terran. It's because this kind of shit from Terran is fucking terrible. Like, he lets the starport die and the reactor die when he could have repaired it and saved it. He doesn't have any reaction of Marines. He doesn't spread Marines at all. He plays... The Terran's playing a very poor reaction to mutas. So, you will hit a brick wall with this playstyle. That's all I'm saying. If you don't over... Like, you need to just be way more assertive with your mutas. Lots more damage needs to be done. They're lacking a lot of damage. And now he's pushing you with a real army. Secondly, you don't have nearly enough banes. When you fight against pure Marines like this, if you fight against pure Marines, you need to have a ratio of almost like 50-50 bane to ling. Like, maybe like 40-60 or like maybe 33-66. Like 2/3 lings, 1/3 bane at least. That's like the minimum. Right now you have 9 banes and you have like 50 lings. That's fucking not good ratios. Because what's going to happen is, well, here's what's going to happen. And again, this is going to happen to you if you start playing better Terrans. All this Terran has to do is one focus fire from his tanks on your banes and you're fucked. Or he stim packs his Marines and he just murders your lings for a while and then he runs away as soon as your banes get close and his tanks kill the rest. You just don't have enough units is all your problem is. And it's because you invested in the mutas that aren't doing enough damage. This Baneling counterattack is really nice. The muta counterattack is also nice. Like the fact that you added in some mains to your muta counterattack, that is nice. It's a good move. But you just don't have enough supply. Your build needs to either be a speedling expand with a third base like you took it, or straight up 2 base layer with muta, and you guard your natural with walling off. That's your biggest problem. This is why you have nothing, because you took so much fucking damage in the early game, and you also invested into these mutas like crazy. And right now, what you should do is you have 2 options. Option number 1 is you keep attacking with your mutas, and you try to like literally kill these command centers and really put him into a 2-base Terran situation, which is doable. If you do that, you do not fucking engage. You re-rally this hatchery to like over here. You re-rally this hatchery and this hatchery to like up here or like back here. And you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait as long as you can and making more banelings along the way until he really starts getting into your face where you're like, okay, I gotta fucking go now because otherwise my this base is gonna die. You just wait on it though and you just build more and more and more. If you attack him early, all you're going to do is bleed your units out repeatedly. The other option you have, so like this is what should happen regardless with your Lingbane. Like you should just wait as long as you can. But the difference is you wait until he really starts getting ready to punish you and like unsiege his tanks and really get in your face, and then you go. Or you wait until your mutas come back and pick his tanks off. Like, as you start picking his tanks off, then you go. That'd be fine. Or if, best case scenario, if you can actually pick a tank off entirely before you even engage without losing your mutas, that'd be amazing. But if you're going to choose to kill the command centers, this is a fine situation. It's a totally logical choice. Don't engage with your Lingbane at all. So this rally point is making me fucking nervous. Because if you run your fucking Lings, okay, good, you've re-rallied the eggs at least. You definitely don't want to fight him yet. In my opinion, that was too early. You attacked him too early. You jumped the gun a little bit right there. You don't need to rush the fight when you're like, because here's the thing, right? You've committed to the situation where you're committed. You're going, okay, I'm gonna lose my 4th base, but you're gonna lose your 4th base and your 3rd base because they're together. My mutas and my banes that counterattacked you just fucking killed your expansion. So you're now a 2-base Terran. You're still a 3-base Zerg, so you have no priority. Like, there's no, like, fire in your under your ass that's, like, telling you, go, 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 go. You don't have to do it. Like, the fact that you killed 2 of these command centers already alone makes the fact that if he scans from now on, that sucks ass. Like, this is expensive for him to scan your creep now. It's 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes into the game. He can't afford to scan you repeatedly anymore. Like, look at this. Look at these fucking mineral lines. They're looking pretty sad. This mineral line is, you know, looking okay, but some of these, like 130, 135, 175, a lot of these patches are going to be gone here pretty soon. This Terran's economy is looking pretty shit at this point in time because you're killing his command centers. So there is no real push for you to have to rush the fight. Just wait on it and just make more fucking units. Because his tanks are in absolutely nowhere near even a threatening position at all right now. He's not even close enough to kill your Bane Nest. And like just let him do it. Let him like smack your Marines. Or sorry, smack a Baneling Nest with like 5 Marines. Who gives a fuck? If he brings all the Marines forward, yeah, maybe like send your Lings forward, send your Lingbane forward. Because you can see the tanks. He's not scanning it. So you can see where they are. Just maybe show him like, hey, I might attack you. And make him back up for a second. And be like, oh shit, Lingbane are coming. Run away. Or build a new Bane Nest in your main base. That's totally fine too. But don't... This attack, I don't like it. I do not like that attack. We'll go back forward for a second here. Back to when that happened. So again, the reason why you're doing it too, in my opinion, is because you're feeling pressured. Because you're like, well, ViBE, if I don't do that though, all these Lings are just going to die. And I agree, yeah, they would. Which is why you should re-rally your hatcheries. Don't just base everything off of going, all larva, go to a control group. All larva, go to a control group. All larva, go to a control group. All eggs, go to a control group. Don't base it like that. Instead, what you should do is go like this. It would be as simple as this. All eggs, right click. All hatcheries, right click. Or right here, right click, whatever. All eggs, all hatcheries, click there. Both of them. and then go to your third base and double click your eggs or control click your eggs and go right click, click this hatchery by itself, right click. You've just fixed your problem. From now on, everything, and then stop rally pointing all of your group 1 and everything you do. Just, you can still make larva and go shift 1, shift 1, shift 1. That's fine. But don't tell shift 1, right click, shift 1, right click. Stop doing that. No more right clicks because he's setting up in between your bases. And this is the hardest thing Zerg has to deal with. So allow these units that spawn at your third base to continue to spawn at your third base and wait there. And allow all of the units in your main and your natural to spawn at your main and your natural and wait there. And let him fucking waste his fucking time waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And if you waited at like, you know, we're talking like, we get to like 11 minutes or like 11:30, suddenly you have double the Ling Bane count you have because this is not a big army. That is not a big army. If you waited for another like 30 seconds, you could honestly like double this. And you have the money to do it right now. You have 3 base economy still pumping. So you should just wait on it. And meanwhile, he still feels pressured because he's like, fuck, my third's dead. My potential fourth is dead now. The one I was going to build is dead. He's feeling the pressure, not you. You're only feeling the pressure if you allow yourself to feel the pressure because you just disorganize your Ling Bane. But yeah, this doesn't need to be this fast. It does not need to be. Like, you should be pulling back like right now as he runs away. Because again, do you want to know why you won that fight? There's 2 reasons why you won that fight. And this is the kind of shit where you're developing bad habits. I don't want you to think that was good for you. Even though you won that fight, I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. Number 1, this Terran ran away from his tanks. He literally ran away from his fucking tanks with his Marines instead of towards them. So he didn't actually have the ability to kill your Banes. And he just fucking got destroyed. And the second reason why is his micro was not the greatest. He kept clumping his Marines and they kept dying. Like, he did not have great splits. Now, if you play, let's just say hypothetically, you were playing like TY or like Innovation or like Maru. Obviously, you're not playing them on ladder every day, but I just want to tell you, like, for real, if the situation was like this right here, if this was a situation right here, and for the next 20 seconds, Maru took over this army, just for 20 seconds, if you pull the trigger that fast, you would die. You would fucking die. I do not know why this guy prioritizes running down the ramp away from his tanks. It makes literally no fucking sense. It would only make sense if his tanks were there, and like there. Not all over here. If his tanks are all over here, his bio spread should be there, 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 there. Go behind the tanks. So this is just a mistake by the Terran. But as is, okay, so we'll talk about it as is though. Because the Terran lost everything, and you actually won that fight, and you're also killing his 4th base, you now have a lead. You now have a fat, humongous lead. The game has reset itself to a point to where you initially wanted it to be in the first place. You have gone 2 base Muta, and you have now secured a 3rd base, versus a Terran who is stuck on 2 base Terran, who is now getting contained by Mutalisk. It's even better than that now because he's also, it's later in the game, so he's running out of money faster. He has 4 bases. I can see he has a 4th base, but Jonathan, I need you to fucking calm down, okay? Relax. So it's actually even better for you because he's running out of money faster now because it's later in the game than 6 minutes. We're talking now it's 11 minutes. It's full 5 minutes later. It's a full 5 minutes later. So he's actually running out of money a lot faster. And it's not. It's also, the other thing too is the money that he doesn't have was invested into shit that has died. So all these SCVs died. All these command centers died. All these depots are susceptible to dying. It's hard for him to defend these now because they're exposed as fuck. So what you should do now is you should spread your creep. You should continue to contain with Mutalisk. And you should not fucking attack him with Ling Bane. Do not attack him with Ling Bane. Contain him with Mutalisk. Expand again. Keep your bases saturated. Like, you could even make, like right now, you could make 1 more round of drones. Because you just killed his army. And he has to use his other existing army to deal with mutas that are containing him. So you could You could make one round of drones, go up to like 80 drones off of 65. That's super easy on the amount of hatcheries you have. And you could actually be on 4 base economy. And then, like I said, you just spread creep, tech to hive, get weapon upgrades to 3-3. Go, you already have a hive, that's even better. Make an ultra den. Just get all your in-game shit set up and just wait and wait and wait and wait until you max. And once you max with a good economy, then you can fucking attack him with your ground army. If you attack him before you max out with ground army, all you do is you potentially throw the game away. Because you have the lead and you should use it by controlling the map right now. Like for instance, if the first thing I said, spread creep, take a drone wave, expand again, solidify your tier 3 tech, upgrades included. That is the proper way to play from here. Contain it with mutas the entire time. Non-committal engagements. Just like contain, but don't take fights with mutas. However, if you do the complete opposite, and you make nothing but Ling Bane from now, and you attack him with Ling Bane muta, all you do is you potentially put yourself in a situation where you can lose your army. You give Terran ability to now breathe and leave his base and take a 3rd base. Let's say you don't spend your creep at all during this because you're so prioritized on attacking and attacking and attacking. You have no creep spread to follow it up then. So you have no real control over the map. You literally threw away your fucking map control situation you had here if you do that. And you give him the ability to get right back in the game again if you take one bad fight. Because you're doing it with supply that is not overwhelmingly large because you're not really taking advantage of the fact that you have the map. And that could very well happen if you take a fight against a wall with fucking siege tanks and stuff behind it, or maybe some Widow Mines, and you're like, oh god, one bad Widow Mine hit just killed 30 Banelings. Oof, that sucks. And now fucking all these Marines are now kicking the fucking shit out of my Lings and Mutas. So I would hope you don't do that. So the first thing I said is what you should be doing. Containing him, killing whatever you can with the Mutas without having to fight his army, poking him and being annoying, while you expand and make drones and make your tech. So what are you making right now? You're making Banes and Lings. One drone wave. You know why one drone wave? Because he has to defend mutas if you don't run away. You know your muta should have just done just there? Your muta should have went like this. Oh, he's got Marines there and he's got Marines here. Go like this. Poke his gas. Poke his engineering bay. Drag him back here. Drag him over here. Go up here. Pop a fucking reactor. Mutas can fly right there and avoid all those turrets. The fact that you're backing off the mutas is allowing him to have positioning to push you again. And if you make drones now, if you make drones behind those Lings and your mutas are not attacking him, this is once again incorrect because you're not actually controlling the map at all. We'll see what you do. So two things. Before I see what you make, two things. First things first, you can make drones easily while you contain them with mutas. Number two, if you make units right now, you're putting yourself into an all-in, which is not very good because you're going to have a weak drone count. So they're both wrong. Like, making units is wrong, and also not attacking with your mutas is wrong. Both of these things are wrong right now if you want to really control the game for the fact that you're on 5, soon to be 6 bases. Because you have to realize if you don't pressure him with mutas, he's probably going to push you. And if he pushes you and you make units, obviously that's good. But if you make units off of an economy that is not actually that crazy good, you're putting yourself in a position where you're almost like all in. Because it comes down to a situation where if one army goes bad, if one fight goes bad for you, you're fucked and you can't remake anything. And now you're making drones. So I wanted you to make drones. You made Lings first. I wanted you to make drones. You made Lings instead. But then you backed off with mutas and now you made drones. And now all you do is look at the Terran. I don't even know where the Terran is right now. But I would not be surprised if the Terran is pushing you. Like here or some shit. Or like here. He's probably going to... like he's pushing you over here. He's going to push you because you're not pressuring him anymore. And he feels behind. And he wants to get something done. So you're kind of missing the... And it doesn't take long either. Just one wave of drones and then making units. It only takes like 30 seconds to do that. Just 30 seconds. containing someone with 30 seconds of mutas is not that hard. You just have to not... You have to just look at them and make sure they don't dive into fucking Marines and die. But now what's going to happen is you're making drones and you're going to get pushed. And you could very well die. You only made 3 though. Now you made 16. So there you go. There's your wave. And he's pushing it. Seriously, the mutas are just fucking sitting there. They're doing nothing. So you're not really utilizing them. And now you're in a situation where you've allowed Terran to feel like he has control of the game when he really shouldn't have had it. It's because you're just not doing anything. And now you're in a situation where you just made a wave of drones and now he's here. He's here now. And now you have to make a choice. Do I want a base trade while he has the advantage because he's already at my base and I have to fly across the map? Or do I want to take this fight with less army than I should have because he's pushing? Because here's the thing too. Here's the thing as well. If you attack his base... If you attack his base with mutas and he pushes you anyways, do you know what that puts the Terran into? It puts the Terran into an all-in, because if he pushes you with everything and goes, ah, fuck the mutas, suddenly what happened to his third could happen to his natural. And he's like, well, now I have no economy to fall back on. If this attack fails, I lose the game. So your mutas are like... There's so much more value that could be had there for your mutas that just are not getting... They're not just... You're not getting for it. And that was your whole army, I think, that just fought. That was literally everything you had. That was a tiny Ling main army and a tiny muta army that just kind of tried to engage and you just got fucking steamrolled. And it's because you just didn't control the map properly, and now you're super fucked. Like the only saving grace I could say you have is that you killed his 4th base as well, so he had to reset into a new 3rd. But like I imagine you're about to get some serious damage done to you. Like this is that moment where you're probably fucked, like super dead. All your drones are dying. What do you have in production? I was going to say, the only thing I really think could save you is Ultralisk at this point. Because he has no Marauders. He has very few Widow Mines. And he has mostly just Marines. And your upgrades are decent. You have 2-2 and you have Chitinous Plating on the way. So 6 Ultras could totally fucking manhandle this. But it's going to be at the cost of all of your drones. Or like you're probably going to be at like 40 drones by the time this is over. And your Ultras pop out. And... You're probably only going to... Like, you have a lot of expansions, at least, which you can just try to recover on. But there's all super exposed. Like, in the middle of nowhere. Like, this base is probably going to die as well. So, again, what it does to you is it puts you into another position of all-in. We'll talk about it when you get there, where it's just going to be a really awkward position to be in. But, yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But your mutas are why this is happening. The fact that they went passive is why he's here right now. Because again, I just want to make sure you understand this concept. If he was not passive, and let's say he's here just like he is now, right now, what did your mutas do in this attack defensively? They flew in, and you lost like 5 of them, and you flew away. You killed nothing. You just lost mutas to fly in and fly out, and you got hit by... All you really did was the only thing you really accomplished was you set off a Widow Mine, so you made one of his Widow Mines go on cooldown. You didn't even kill it, you just set it off. So that Widow Mine couldn't go off on Ling Bane. That was it. But you lost like 5 mutas to Marines and Widow Mine. And that sucks. If he did this attack though, and your mutas were here, this attack would... Or like here even. Imagine if your mutas were here, and he was once again losing his 3rd base. And he was now solidified in a 2-base all-in. Because you killed his 3rd again, and now he's like, well fuck. I can't really afford a new 3rd very well. How about I just lift off and land my existing orbital command at a new base? Like, I'll become that guy. I'll lift and land my existing command center, so I only have 2 CCs. That would put you in a much better position after this attack is over, when your Ultras pop out, to where he would be a lot less... He wouldn't be as well off as he is, because he'd be starved a lot more. So again, that is a big deal about what your mutas could be doing if this guy still went for a fucking YOLO attack while your mutas pressured him. That was a nice pick off on that one tank. Your metas are all dying now, though. You have literally 2 meta at this point. Soon to be 1 meta. Now all meta dead. That sucks. And now Ultras will clean house. No problem. Marines don't do shit. The Ultra. And he doesn't have enough Widow Mines to kill them all. And now here's what you should do. This is what you should do. You should immediately, right now, take 1 Zergling and run across the left side of the map, and 1 Zergling and run across the right side of the map, and just make for fucking sure that this dude does not have hidden bases on you. Because if you allow him to have a fully exposed mineral line that just doesn't get attacked, and you lose your army attacking somewhere else, you once again kind of throw the game again. So if you scouted there's no bases here, no bases there, that's great. But if you attack into his natural, and you never even acknowledge this, that's a bit of a blunder. So I'd say scouting right now is critical. It's huge. It's very, very, very important. And you're just going for the 3rd base again. You're playing kind of panicky right now. You're playing with like the intent to be like, shit, I gotta go, 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 go. Fucked. Like you don't want to fight his army. You do not want to fight his army. But you do want to pressure. You know what you could do? Remember what I said? How I was like, what if you scouted his mineral line? And you just made a fuckload of lings. I'm super glad you made a lot of lings. Because the last thing I want you to do is run a bunch of Ultras into his fucking wall and die. Well, you know when people are like, Ultras suck. Ultras are bad units. They suck ass. Yeah, they are bad units when people use them like that. And they just go, run into the fucking wall and get owned by Widow Mines and Marauders and tanks and Liberators and whatever. Ghosts. And all your Ultras just run over there and be like, they just die. That's obviously terrible. But you know what you could do? If you scouted his bases and you went, oh, I guarantee it's undefended. Look at that base. You could have been like this. Oh, I know. I'm looking for expansions because I'm trying to fuck his economy over, and I scouted he doesn't have a base there. I scouted he doesn't have a base there. I scouted there's a base there, though. Your lings could go like this. Ultras and some of your lings or whatever, like, oh, these guys right here, this control group right here, could be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I might attack you, but I'm not gonna. But I might. But I'm not gonna, but I might. But you're gonna have to defend this. You're gonna burrow all your Widow Mines over here. You're gonna be paranoid about my units over here. You're gonna react to it. Because if you don't, I could kill you for real then. Meanwhile, your lings, which are super cheap and super fast and super well upgraded and super mobile, go just fucking annihilate a mineral line right now. You could annihilate this mineral line if you knew it existed. Because all of your lings are going to converge with your Ultras and they're going to do nothing. So there was a momentum shift there for you if you just scouted. You could have won the game right there if you scouted. But now your lings are just sitting here on their ass in your natural. Just waiting. And now his planetary is up. And that... And also, you know, now he's relocated his army to defending his 3rd. And that momentum shift is now gone. You could have done so much damage to his mineral line. Because these lings are 2/2 lings with adrenal glands. They could have fucking wrecked that mineral line. They even, potentially, could have killed the command center. You might even have made him lift... Like, if you don't kill it, there's a chance you might have made him lift it off. You might have made him lift it off. Like, cancel it and lift it off. And suddenly you're like, oh, wow. There's no planetary here. And you know what you could have done then? You could have positioned your Ultras right here and been like, hey, look at me. I might fuck up your Marines and Widow Mines and all that shit because you don't have a planetary. You're super paranoid. And what if you then took those lings and went like this? Right into his fucking natural. Because he's paranoid because you force a reaction with Ultras over here. Because you canceled... It's like a butterfly effect. You made the planetary have to restart. So now his planetary is trying to finish, and he's like, if this dies, I lose the game. Defend it at all costs. Suddenly, a ling run by goes into his base of like 20 lings, and you start fucking just wrecking all of his SCVs at his natural. Or you run into his main base and kill reactors and kill turrets and kill more SCVs. SCVs would definitely be the priority. But yeah, like there's so much opportunity here that you're just not really taking advantage of, because you're just leaving your army in one ball, one clump at a time. You still have the lead though in this game. Like you're still ahead, and I would say this is how you should play it. Your economy sucks ass. You need to definitely fix that. You are trying to fix it. The fact that your ultras are stacked together right now is making me sad for you. It's not what you should be doing. There's two things you should be doing right now. Number one, map control, map awareness. What does that mean? These changelings, or these overseers with the ability to make 6 changelings right now, should be shitting them out, and you should have 6 changelings on the field right now, just kind of roaming. Go look for his expansions. How many bases is he actually trying to recover on? Because you still have no idea right now. You literally don't even know. But is he taking this base too? Like, we want to know that. Spread out some changelings. Base. Changeling, maybe like where his army is. Find his army. And then spread creep while you're doing this. That's number one. Have map control, map awareness. Number two, spread your army out right now. Take out like a 20% chunk or like a 30% chunk. Send it down here. Take 30%. Send it up here. Take 30% and leave it here. Why? Because right now, if this dude were to drop you there, you'd be like, oh, fuck, that's a dead mineral line. Maybe a dead hatchery. If he drops you up here. Ah, shit, that's probably a dead hatchery or a dead mineral line. Bio at 3-3 is going to pop your hatcheries super fast because bio gets upgrades. Hatcheries don't. If it was 0-0 bio, you'd probably be fine. But if it's 3-3 bio, it's going to fucking wreck your hatcheries. Like, super fast. So, you need to have units already ready to go. You need to have a little bit more awareness as to what's going on. And while you're doing that, if you scout with changelings that he's being super greedy, you can be super greedy too. You can make more drones. If you scout, however, he's only sitting on a 3rd command center, and you know for a fact his main base is mined out, because look at your main base. It's practically fucking mined out. You could sit on one base above him. So what I mean by that is if he's mined out of his main base and he's on a 3rd now and there's no 4th, that means he's really mining basically 2 base economy. So you could mine 3 base economy. So you could have your natural, just like he has his natural, and you could have this base, and you could have this base, or whatever. It gives you an idea of how many drones you should recover on. So if you sit here and you go, you know what? Fucking 80 drones, bitch. 80 drones. I'm going fucking 4 bases again. And he does not make any SCVs beyond the 3rd base. And he does just like this final YOLO last push of his Marine tank timing with whatever. Maybe he adds in Liberators to it or some shit. Marauders to it. And he just mines off this base only. You have a chance to die if he catches you once again in the drone phase. And you're like, I just finished making all my 80 drones. And he's attacking again with a parade push once again. And you're like, fuck, I just made drones though. Like, you could totally die. So you need to have a lot more awareness as to what's happening, because it gives you an idea of how to react. And once you react properly with a proper economy, when a game gets kind of sloppy like this, then I would say, if you're like, okay, well, I feel pretty satisfied with my ground army, feels good. I feel satisfied with my economy compared to his economy, because I know how many bases he has, feels good. What's his composition? If you're like, oh, he's going into just Marine, Medevac, Marauder, Tank, Widowmine, I'd be like, why don't you add in some Broodlords? Easy. If you want to really like get the extra like punch to your army, add some fucking Broods in. You'll fuck over Widowmines, you'll fuck over Marauders. It'll indirectly fuck over tanks. It'll also fuck over bio, like Marines, because your Broodlords will be at a safe distance to where the only way that the Broodlords could die is if the Marines charge into Ultralisk, which is not what they want to do. If he goes into fucking Liberators, if he goes into something like that, some air unit, like heavier on the air unit, add in some Corruptors. If he starts trying to drop you a lot, if you start seeing Medevacs loading up and going all over the place, because he's flying over your creep, or he's flying past Overlords, which should be spread out, by the way. Because again, you get map vision, right? If you see him loading up Medevacs and he's making more Medevacs, make some more Mutas. Crush the Medevacs as he tries to drop you. You have zero awareness as to what's happening right now. You're playing super blind. You're playing full-on ViBE blind right now. ViBE blind. Yo, Bahrain, thank you so much, dude, for the sub. Thank you very much for the sub, dude. And now check this out. So Terran drops you. Yep, Bahrain, did I just say thank you for the sub? Bahrain, thank you for the 500 bits. Appreciate you. Thank you. Much love, dude. But now Terran shows up, and imagine if you had Ling Ultra here. Just a couple. Like 2 Ultras and like 20 Lings. Not even a lot. Just a couple. You would own this. This little pressure would get shit on. He would either lose it, or he would load into Medivacs and run away. And then you would know this, okay? Here's a cool tip. And let's say he's doing a push right here. You're like, oh, fuck, okay, here comes his real army. Let's just say, hypothetically, as he walks on creep, the better your creep spread is, the faster you'll see these things. But you go, okay, pressure with a drop and a real push. And I have spread of units. What if you did this? What if you went, okay, how about this? Group 1. A move back down to here. Everything reconverge. So green box, like 1 Ultralisk and like 10 Zerglings. Out of my 2 Ultras and like 20 Lings. Green box like half of what was here. And hit Alt 2 or Alt 4, Alt 6, Alt 7. The steal command. And then you go, whatever Alt command you make it. Group 2, let's say. Right click. Just sit here. Sit here. Why? Because he's probably going to load these Medivacs up, fly away, and then come right back. Once when he's attacking you. And if you by force leave like 1 Ultra here and like 10 Lings, 1 Ultra and 10 Lings will obliterate 2 Medivacs of Marines only. Like, it won't even be hard. Your Ultra itself will just be like later. And your Lings will kill the Marines as they try to like kite, and they'll slow them down, and they'll even help kill Marines when they get like tuck themselves away into like little choke points. But the Ultra will, it's by itself, fucking own these units. And then what you could do when you told Group 1 to come back down here and attack this area, if he's going to push you with the real army, you could go like this. How about I green box this chunk of my army that was at my natural, the other 30%, and I go green box, right click right there. Set up a flank. So a lot of your army is reconverging right here, and then like a chunk of your army is converging over here, so you're setting up a flank. And then when you're ready and he pushes on creep, you sandwich his ass. You should be expecting Terran to do shit like this by default, and you would know he's doing shit like this if you just scouted and you went, his economy sucks. Like, for instance, what if a changeling walked into his main base and you saw he lifted the command center to float over here? Or like, he just landed it, by the way. What if your changeling scouted this before he pushed you and you saw there was no command center here at all? What if you saw... right now, no command center here. Only 3 bases in total. Still. So you only knew he had this base, and this base. And this changeling that was sitting here was like, there's no base here still. You already know he's going to be aggressive because he's not expanding really fast. He's not recovering on economy really fast. And then what if you had more changelings scouting his composition and you went, oh, fucking 100 Widow Mines. Lots of Widow Mines. And some Medivacs and some Marauders and some Marines. But fucking tons of Widow Mines. Remember what I said what would be good against Widow Mines? There's 2 things that are amazing against Widow Mines. One of them you already have access to because you have a Hive and a Spire. Broodlords would have been a great answer to someone who's just making lots of Widow Mines. Another great answer is, if you wanted to start making it, would be make a Hydrogen and then go into Lurkers. That's also is super good against Widow Mines. I would say you should go Broodlords though because you already have a Spire. So it just makes more logical sense. You'll get it faster. And if you had Broodlords when he showed up at your base to attack you with this, you would easily just be like, oh, what? Oh, okay, your army's dead. Later, dude. Like, he would be able to do nothing to you. But you don't scout anything. You haven't scouted shit, so you have no idea what he's doing, and you're just playing super blind. Another way you could deal with this, the lesser option, but still effective, if you didn't have time to go Broodlords, and he pushes you at a low supply count, and you're like, okay, he's going aggressive again. Sections of Lingbane. Just sections of Lingbane. Don't A-move everything all at once. Just send in sections of Lingbane, and here's why it would own him really bad. He does not have enough bio or enough factory units to cover his Widow Mines. So if you send in, like, let's say you send in 10 Zerglings and 5 Banelings, and you spread them out all over the Widow Mines, You send in another 10 Zerglings and 5 Banelings and spread them out all over the Widow Mines. You're going to see Widow Mines be like, just fucking shooting everywhere. And one or two, just maybe even one if he's micro well, or 2 waves if you're micro kind of okay. 2 waves of 10 Lings and 5 Banelings or whatever. Like something like, it's something super small supply-wise. It's like 8 supply. And you'd be like, wow. That's fucking, like all of his Widow Mines are set off because he doesn't have enough bio to stand there. Otherwise, he'll blow up the Banelings. And he doesn't have enough bio also to stand there and kill all my Lings before it sets off his Widow Mines. So the only way he would be able to counter that is if he continuously up-burrowed and burrowed, up-burrowed, burrowed, up-burrowed, burrowed his Widow Mines over and over and over. And meanwhile, at the same exact time, spread every fucking Marine out so they didn't get AoE'd by Banes. And this guy, I'm going to tell you right now, doing that micro-wise is insanely fucking hard. And the way he was microing earlier against your Ling Bane, he's not going to be able to do that. He will not fucking do that. The only way he has a chance to win the game now, though, is if you run everything into him all at once and you run it at him late. And then you also don't do anything about his multi-prong. And you allow him to kill your hatcheries while your whole army runs into Widow Mines and dies. Because all that needs to happen for him, for you to fuck up, is all your Overseers fly in and fucking die. And then the rest of his Widow Mines go off on the rest of your units. And then his Widow Mines reset by the time you get another Overseer. And it's like all of his Widow Mines are still just there. And he's like, cool, now I have 24 Widow Mines. Ha 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 ha. And see how he's doing it, like what I said? So he dragged you to the top, he ran to the top, he made his Medivacs leave. Now you're running everything to the bottom to kill this, but by the time you get there, the hatchery's dead, and now he redrops this base, and this hatchery's also dead. So now you're effectively on 4 bases versus really, it's really 3 base versus 3 base because both your mains are pretty much fucking done. But the economy now is even. Your economies are now pretty much even, which is bad for Zerg because Terran has mules. Terran has those fucking yellow things that mine like crazy. So, I mean, I would say that was kind of a, like, army-wise, I feel like that was a wash. You guys both lost about probably the same resources. You lost a bunch of Banes, he lost some Marines, Marauders, Widow Mines. But you guys, like, washed your supply right there. He did not lose his drops. He lost the Marines inside of it, though, somehow. But, now is, again, once again, this is not the time to attack. This is like a panic attack again. The game reset, like, basically the point is after that attack where you just killed everything here, the game reset exactly in the same position it reset to the last time, when what you should have focused on was checking his base count, spreading your creep, scouting his composition with changelings, and scouting his existing expansions, like, and making a composition that will be ideally decent for what you're dealing with, and going into Marine Marauder Widow Mine now with pure Ultra only. Yeah. This is the exact thing I talked about a minute ago when I was like, remember how people say Ultras are bad? Well, we're about to see that right now. You're about to probably lose, unless this guy micros like absolute fucking shit, you're going to feel like Ultras are bad. And one thing I think he could abuse you on, I don't know if he did this intentionally, but he just spaced his depots out in a way where Bio can fit through it and Ultras can't. So if he runs to the over here, your Ultras would be like, just fucking like, can't get through. He's not even microing. He doesn't give a fuck. This guy doesn't even micro at all. What's up, 39 Stripes? So, what just happened there is you just threw away your entire army, and you threw away everything. You only killed, and here's the crazy thing, okay? This is the part where everyone's like, oh shit, I don't really think about this as Zerg very often, but, you know, like, people just don't ever respect this as Zerg. You just threw away your entire army to kill some of his bio. You have not killed any of his medevacs. Once again, you have killed no widow mines. You ran around his base a lot. You didn't even kill a ton of SCVs. You killed some. But he still has... He didn't do enough damage to where, like, he's fucked. He still has plenty of SCVs to mine minerals. He's got more than you still. Overall. But you just completely did a 100% reset on your army. And he did not do a 100% reset on his. You reset his bio only. You did not reset... You only reset the barracks. You didn't reset his factory or his starport units. So now... You've got to deal with someone who's got 9 widow mines and 4 medevacs, and he's still pumping both of those at the same time. He's still pumping bio with medevacs with mines. He's still making all of it. But now you're gonna the next time you fight the Terran, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Does this guy have like 20 widow mines? Does he have like 18 widow mines? What the hell's going on? Jesus, it's a lot of widow mines, and it's because you lost everything to the previous fight, and they're still there. Hey, what's up, Pearl? How you doing? Also, Muchos Pylons. Thank you very much for the 513 sub. Long stream today, Vibe? Yeah, it's going to be over here pretty soon, though. It's okay. And this is not the time to do another attack. This is basically you throwing the game away. All you need to do is go, what logically makes sense to beat this army? Ultras are not it, by the way. Ultras are not bad if you use them as a support unit, not as a primary unit. But the best unit you can make right now for Zerg that would beat the shit out of this army is a Broodlord. You should have just used your army defensively to control creep and just made broods. And now look, he's doing it again. Imagine if you still had mutas. Imagine if this guy keeps throwing his supply into you and your mutas keep just popping fucking medevacs as they try to... Like, because here's the thing too. Imagine if he had a changeling in his army repeatedly and you went, oh, look at that medevac. I just heard it load and it went that way. And you're like, I wonder if he's going fucking a line that goes this direction right here. I wonder if he's going to go there. What if I cut him off like right there? Right? Because that goes in a line back to like right there. You know what I mean? Like you can predict where he's going to go. So you can like cut him off and kill him with mutas. If you still had them at this point. If you could do something at that point. Like use them. Lines, man. Fucking lines. Like that fight was terrible, right? So he just actually loaded up his medevacs and evacuated most of the bio. But he just got those last 2 widow mines were fucking juicy. Like all of your Banes, or most of your Banes, and a lot of your Lings just died right there. Those were fucking huge widow mine hits. And now look at the supply. You're starting to die because you keep playing the game of no drones and high fucking unit production, and you keep throwing your army away repeatedly. And you also keep playing the game of chase his army one at a time, one thing at a time. You got to definitely get out of the habit of doing that. And this once again comes back to the point where what you should be doing right now is you should be 100% looking. You should be looking where his expansions are, and you should be matching your drone count accordingly to that. And you've already known, and you should be scouting his composition again, seeing if he's going to try and rotate. Just know there's 2 ways to tell if someone's going to rotate their tech. Number 1 is if you see the fucking units, you can tell, oh, he's not rotating tech. Number 2, if you see he has no expansions. If he has no bases, and the current bases that he has have basically mined out because he's been on them forever, you can rule out a tech swap then too. If your opponent has been attacking you like the same has been going on the whole time, where you guys both trade. If you're like, okay, there's no base, no base, no base, no base. You could be like, okay, well, you physically couldn't even afford a tech switch. You honestly can't even afford one because you don't have enough money to do that. And if you make something that is good to deal with what he has, your life is going to be so much fucking easier. And Now, look at his army now. Look at his army now. It is heavy bio with very minimal Widow Mine. And also, look at this. Where are the medevacs? There's no fucking medevacs at all. There's zero. There's 0 air units. You know what would be really good against this now? With your current army you have, which is Ultralisk. Like, yeah, I mean, you have Corruptor now. And no Greater Spire. So, that looks like they're killing medevacs. That's fine, whatever. A great unit to add on to your composition now would be a fucking Infestor. If you had Infestors with this, you would not allow him to kite you. And your fungal growth would legit kill his units. Because he has no fungal to heal through it. Or he has no medevacs to heal through fungal. Like, fungal would destroy him right now. There's no medevacs anymore. Medevacs actually counter Infestors. Like, a lot. But no medevac, and you've even further went, fuck your medevacs. You ain't getting that shit. I got Corruptors. Infestors would be amazing right now. Like, you don't even need a lot. You don't even need a lot. Just like 3 Infestors. Just like 3 of them would be plenty. You just need 1 Juicy Fungal at this point. Because you have still Ultra Corruptor. Either that or canceling this upgrade and going into Broodlords. That would also be fine. It would work too. And like this dude is stimming with no medevacs. He's stimming without, like, you could see it with your creep. This is why creep is so important, right? You can physically see, wow, you got a lot of yellow bio, and I haven't fucking seen a single medevac cross right now. And it's not even just creep either. Remember, changelings are a huge thing. You need to fucking scout so much more than you do. Holy shit. That poor Ultra. It just got fucking deleted. This is not the time to attack. Think about it like this. Why are you attacking right now? The reason why you're attacking right now is because you're thinking to yourself, Terran! Fucking Terran! Terran! Hey, Terran! Jesus! This is never-ending bio armies. But how many bases do you have? You have 6 bases. How many bases does Terran have? I feel like the answer, if I were to ask you this question in the game, if I was sitting right next to you and I was watching you play this, and I was like, why are you attacking right now? And you'd be like, I don't know, because I think I'm going to die. Like, I feel like I need to kill him now. I feel like I'm losing. I'd be like, dude, if this guy only has 4 bases and you have 6, it's actually like the better situation for you as a Zerg player. You just got to control your shit. Like, control your side of the map a little bit more effectively, because you're actually out expanding this guy right now. Like, he's the one who's in pressure right now, not you. The fact, and also here's a tell. Here is a tell that a Terran player is like fucking losing steam in the game. He is stimming your creep down with fucking no medevacs. That is like YOLO to the extreme right there. He might run into banelings that are burrowed. He might run into an infestor. He might run into a flank. And if he does, he's literally just dead. This makes me think the Terran is starving. And he's like scraping the bottom of the barrel here. He's like, oh, please, please, I need to get shit done here. So and you're playing this game blind. You're playing it with no information. And if you just scouted this base and this base, these 2 nearest bases for Terran to have, if you scouted either one of them, either indirectly with creep or with a unit like a changeling or a zergling, you would know, oh fuck, this Terran's actually broke his shit. It's 19 minutes in the game and he's still only on 4 bases. Mined out, getting closer to mining out now. Patches are disappearing, and this base is still okay because you killed it earlier. He's got basically like 1.5 base economy for the most part. Like, this base is literally mining out very fast. He's got like 1.5 economy. You have, that's kind of like a half. That's like about a half again. It's a fresh base. That's a mostly full base. That's a fresh base. You have like fucking 3.5 base economy, essentially. It's like 3.5 base economy for Zerg if you actually made drones ever. When you're in these stages, versus 1.5 base economy for Terran because he just doesn't have the command centers. And one of those, you got to keep this in mind too. Think about this. You even know this exists. This is a fucking planetary. So, no mules. That's great. Because you're like, oh wow. This guy's got less orbitals than, you know, than he should. Because I killed his orbitals earlier, and he made the next commander center he made that into a fucking planetary. Because he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to lose this location, which is not a bad thing for Terran to do. But it's a good thing for you to react to defensively and go, oh, sick, your economy sucks then. Your economy is weaker than it should be. Like, no fifth base for him. And also the fact that one of his existing bases that is also almost winding out is a planetary is a weak-ass economy for Terran. And if you just take fights on creep with something that is cost-efficient, like an Infestor right now, you would easily win the game. But you're making Banelings off creep while you're also fighting it with just literally 3 Ultras and Corruptors, and he has no Medivacs here. If you lose these units, two things happen. Number one, you give him the momentum, the confidence to push you on creep. Because you know why he ran away a second ago? He wasn't feeling confident. He's like, I probably should back up. I think I might die if I do this. But then as soon as he sees you and he's like, oh, look at this army. It's so exposed. Let's actually fight it. It's not even on creep. You're going to give him confidence now to go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run over here and kill this base right after. I'm going to then go kill that base right after. And then you're like, ah, fuck, I'm dead. Look at his bio. He's got no medevac. Okay, so he's backing up now because he's like, okay, I'm running a pumpkin bio army. I got some pumpkin bio going on. I got no medevacs here. So this is the time to scout. Again, the fight's backed off, right? You guys backed off each other? Fucking scout right now. Look at this base. Look at this base. If you allow him to have both bases for free, you could run his ass over. You could fucking run his ass over. Think about it like this. Remember what we talked about earlier? How we were like, Ultras, look at me, come over here. Lings go counterattack. What if you scouted this base? What if you scouted it? And then his army was here as well. And your Ultras showed up right here. And you were like, hey, look at me, I'm a bunch of Ultras. And he's like, fucking stem. We're going to go to bloody murder bio. Fucking blood red bio at this point. And your Lings go like this. They just fucking like run over here in this open depot wall and just kill fucking, or they even just kill the depot wall and then kill SCVs. There's so much ability to abuse the map, and you're not taking advantage of any of it because you just have everything in a blob the whole time. You're just using one blob, and you're paying no attention at all to the economy game. You have like, you're just playing a blind ass economy game. It tells you so much information about how to control the game. And now you're taking everything all at once to where his army is. And you're going for the army too. You're not even going for the economy. You're just going for the army again. So you're allowing this Terran to have a better... And the thing is the way you play as well, you really need to kill workers because you're always going to allow your opponents to out-economy you. If you always play blind, you don't know how many bases they have, you don't know how many SCVs they have, and you always stop making drones at like 50 to 60... And you just sit here in this stage of the game where you're always on this like medium to low drone count. And you keep going for the army, going for the army, going for the army, going for the army. Because he will outproduce you at this point. Which is again why your supply is lower than his. So you kill this army. It feels good. It's like a feels good man right there. You're like, oh damn, I killed this army. Hell yeah. He just killed so much of your shit right there with that one Widow Mine again. And now he's going to thin out your army again. He's going to thin you out here, and you're not going to kill the planetary. His Marines are going to be left over. And you're going to... Now, this base is now fully saturated still, and it's going to stand. And you just, once again, lost everything. Now, at least this time you had fucking Corruptors and Overseers. So you actually reset his army too. You killed all the Widow Mines, except for this one. And you killed all the Medevacs. But he's got more, just more. He should be able to recover over you in general. I mean, you do have, like, this game, okay, so not necessarily. Okay, this game reset. It full reset. It just did a full reset. It worked out. His base still stands. That's annoying. But so do yours. So it's a full reset. You guys actually both have equal base count right now on a split map scenario. But again, right now, what you should be doing is scouting. What the fuck is he making? Right? He's making more Marines. He's making more Marauders. Marines and Marauders. And look, everything is here. This is a planetary. That's not a good place to attack. Everything's coming out of this base. This might be a questionable base to attack. This base is completely exposed. This base is completely exposed. It's also right next to your creep. You could easily retreat off of creep, and yet you decide, you know what, let's kill that planetary. This is not the right location to attack right now. This is what's going to reset your army again. And all it takes is one decent micro fight from him, and you're just fucking dead. So, like, look at that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You killed the planetary, right? But you just lost all, except for one of your ultras, which is almost dead as well. And you lost, like, half your corruptors. Because you just sat in this little choke point in the middle line, stim packing you to death while you killed the planetary. And, you know, your shit just got fucking reamed. And now that gives him confidence to potentially maybe push right there. He scanned it. I can totally see him pushing it now because you just threw your army away. Patience and, like, taking fights that are going to be advantageous for you. Like, look at these exposed mineral lines, man. Holy shit. They're just so exposed all game. He's going, so, like, if you were scouting his army and you were like, okay, his Widowmine count's starting to get kind of ridiculous again, let's go back into broods. Or start making broods. What if you actually sieged his base right here with brood lords? And he stopped throwing fucking ultras and overseers and lings and banes into clumps of Widowmines? You've had the time to do it this game. You just feel like you haven't had the time because you keep not scouting anything and you keep feeling like the Terran's stronger than he really is. And there you go. Now you found a base that's exposed as fuck and you kill it. But now the Terran's actually doing a multi-prong against you. And he's killing all of your economy all at once now. You just lost every mining base except for this piece of crap, which is almost done anyways. And now you are dead. And the reason why you are dead now is because at this point in the game, you don't have enough existing economy to rebuild bases and an army at the same time. And if you don't do either one of those things, if one of those things isn't done, you lose anyways. It's like a checkmate condition because you don't have the income at this point to afford everything you need. You need to be able to expand again to make money, but if you do that, his army will run you over because you don't have an army. Your supply is way too low. But if you just go, okay, well, I'll use my 52 minerals to make a Zergling. You're going to be at 97 supply, and you're going to have no expansions, and you're still going to die. Like, you are now fucked because you don't have any money, you have no bank, and you have no income. So you're just dead. And the Terran still has this base. He still has this base. He still has this base. And he's about to retake this base because this command center is not dead. It's just, don't be so reckless with your army. Try to, like, logically break down what's going on a bit more and scout more and make more intelligent choices about not only what you're going to make, but also how you're going to attack somebody. Because here's the crazy thing. Ultralisk, Zergling, Baneling with creep is faster than every single unit this guy was making in this game. You are the one who gets to choose where the fight happens, not him. And the fact that you kept choosing fights that were disadvantageous for you means that you just don't scout enough. There's nothing stopping you from going around and going, I'm over here, but I have a Ling attack over here, kill a bunch of SCVs. I don't really take this fight. I just don't take the fight. Like, if the fact that you confirm, okay, his army's over here, you can force it. Like, even if his army isn't here, let's just say his army's here, for instance, and you're like, shit, I don't want his army right there. Well, walk some ultras over here, and if his army's way too exposed and way too far out of position, kill the fucking base. But if his army is actually, if you show him, hey, like, 2 Marauders were standing right there, and I killed them with ultras. And he, like, as soon as your ultras are, like, right here, you see him stim packing up this ramp right here. And you're like, oh, he's coming. His army is stim packing up here because he knows I'm here. Maybe I walked into a sensor tower. Whatever. And you see him coming here to save this base. Just don't fucking commit to the fight. Just go, okay, well, your army is now out of position for the other side of the map. Do the exact same fucking thing Terran does to Zerg back to Terran. Like how he drops you with one army and he pushes you with another on the other side. Push him with ultras, but don't really fully take the fight. Be like, just get his attention. Be like, if I know I can win this fight, I'll take it. But if it's a question mark, I'll just wait on it. Meanwhile, I'll kill all your SCVs somewhere else. Why not? Why fucking not? Great. If your army is here and it's not there, it means all your SCVs die. Sick. And then his economy goes to shit. And he becomes all in to where then when you actually do take a fight, if he has no economy because you kept doing that to him all game, and he's like, I got 28 SCVs, and you have 80 drones, and my last base with all my SCVs is the one I'm trying to defend now. Suddenly, you push that base then, and you guys reset armies together because he kills all your shit, you kill all his shit. But then he can't remax anything because he's the one who has fucking 50 minerals and nothing to work with. And you're the one with a remaxed army because you have all these workers mining minerals for you because you killed his and you kept yours alive. Hopefully that makes sense. More patient map manipulation is what you need to do. More scouting is what you need to do. I hope this makes sense. Melty, thank you very much for doing this lesson, this replay analysis. It's been another fucking long one. I just did 2 really long ones back to back, but it's okay. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video up on the YouTubes. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Have a great night. Have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, guys. See you.